Now here at 11 o'clock, he is still the man most associated with the brand of IU basketball. Fired by the school, his relationship with Indiana University was always complicated. A polarizing figure, Coach Bobby Knight. The famed coach died tonight at his home in Bloomington, Indiana. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the Night Team. I'm Doug Proffitt. 83 years old, he was surrounded by friends and family. Controversial, but he was a winner at Indiana, 3 national championships. His personality was showcased in this response when asked how he felt about winning the 1987 national championship.
I'm happy as hell that we won. I'm happy because I think we have great fans and great people, and they enjoy it, and it's great for them. Hell, if we'd have lost, I'd have gone fishing tomorrow.
Well, sports director Ken Spencer joins us now. We're taking a look at Bobby Knight's legacy. And Kent, you know, he held a lot of grudges over the years, but it was good to see them starting to melt away later in his life.
Yeah, I think over time, some of those wounds healed a bit. But on the court, 902 wins, 5 Final Fours, 3 national championships. Bobby Knight started his coaching career at Army, ended it at Texas Tech. But make no mistake about it, he was an Indiana Hoosier. The man who would be known as the General came to Indiana in 1972. Bobby Knight led the Hoosiers to 3 national championships, including his 32-0 team in 1976, who remains the last to go undefeated. His final title came in 1987.
Smart takes the shot, and the Hoosiers with 3 seconds.
Knight was not only one of the best to ever roam the sidelines, he was also one of the most polarizing figures in the sport.
Looky here. Bobby Knight just threw his chair.
I've never used the expression game face, so I have no idea what it means or what you're supposed to do.
Right here is the key to success in coaching.
In 2000, Knight's run at IU came to an end after he violated a zero-tolerance policy. His dismissal was highly controversial among the Indiana fan base. Knight wouldn't return to Assembly Hall until 2020. Surrounded by former players, Bobby Knight finally made peace with Indiana University.
He is Indiana basketball.
When it comes to the legacy he leaves behind, Knight himself had this wish.
When my time on earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my ass.
Well, in a statement released tonight, current Indiana head coach Mike Woodson, who played for Knight at IU, said, quote, "I am so blessed that he saw something in me as a basketball player. He influenced my life in ways I could never repay, as he did with all of his players. He always challenged me to get the most out of myself as a player and, more importantly, as a person." Woodson went on to say in the last few years after Knight returned to Bloomington, when he felt up to it, he would often come by practice, which meant so much. And you heard Mike Krzyzewski, you know, the former Duke coach, played for Bobby Knight at Army. He also released a statement tonight. Those two, you know, you kind of mentioned about, healing some of those wounds that kind of came up over time. You know, they had drifted far apart the last few years. So hopefully that was one of those that were able to be mended as well.
I'm glad you brought up his nickname right away, the General. You can hear Dick Vitale saying it over and over again. He loved Bobby Knight too as well. All right, thank you very much, Kent. Family asked for Bobby Knight to be honored with a memorial contribution to the Alzheimer's Association or to Marian University. We have those links for you on the WHAS11 website. All new here on the Night Team, a Louisville woman is left rebuilding her life after a fire destroyed her house. A car crashed right into her home on Sunday in the Portland neighborhood, hitting the gas meter and causing an explosion, burning the house. WHAS11 Night Team's Alex Dieterer is following up, talking with the homeowner about how she's moving forward.
I just lost my whole life. I just lost everything I know. It's all gone.
Jeanette Mullins has lived in the Portland neighborhood her whole life. For the past 2 years, she's called this building on West Main Street near North 24th home, a home that was taken from her Sunday afternoon.
I just want somewhere to call home again, and I don't have that.
A car crashed into the two-story apartment building, hitting the gas line. Mullins was in her bedroom when she felt the house shake and saw flames through her window.
When I came outside, I seen a black car that was right here up against the gas meter, and it was just engulfed in flames.
Mullins said she and the neighbors started to hear popping, and then the gas meter exploded.
Everybody was just screaming. It was just chaos everywhere.
The inside of the home is barely recognizable among the rubble.
It's just all gone, all of it.
Mullins was only able to salvage a few items of clothing, her son's newborn pictures, and her mother's funeral candle.
I have one pair of shoes when I had like 30 pairs of shoes and 8 coats, and now I don't have any of that, nothing.
Mullins says this is the second time a car has hit this apartment. She says this intersection has some blind spots that can make it dangerous for cars and oncoming traffic.
It happens all the time. There's so many wrecks right here, so many.
It took 25 firefighters to get the fire under control. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
I'm just glad I'm alive. I'm blessed, I guess, in that category, that I made it out safe and I'm alive and I'm here.
Alive and rebuilding a home. In Louisville, Alex Dieterer, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
Also new tonight, Mullins says she was told the house now has to be demolished, so there is a GoFundMe account set up for her. You can find a link to that on our website, WHAS11.com. The frantic, desperate search for a trapped worker is still underway tonight in eastern Kentucky after a coal production plant, an entire building, collapsed on top of 2 workers. It happened last night in Martin County, Kentucky at the Martin Mine Prep Plant. That's about 3.5 hours east of Louisville, right on the West Virginia line. The sheriff says that they had initially made contact with one of the workers who was trapped. After several hours, the communication dwindled. Rescue crews unable to reach him fast enough. Now it is all hands on deck as they attempt to rescue the second worker. This includes 25 rescue team members from Louisville.
These crew members are trained in the disciplines of rope techs, confined space, trench, and rescue. And so we do have all those disciplines on our department. And so we deploy those members out for this exact event.
Officials say they're using cameras, listening devices, and dogs as part of their search. Your voice, your vote, all new happening tonight. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear ending a day of campaigning in West Louisville with a rally tonight. With early voting starting tomorrow, the question of turnout is going to be a big one for the Beshear campaign. Can he win again in a heavily Republican state without a big Louisville victory? We have coverage of the campaign trail as Daniel Cameron zeroed in on Bullitt County. WHAS 11 Night Team's Taylor Woods and Elijah McKenzie talked to the candidates during their stops.
Are you ready to win?
More than 100 West Louisville supporters gathered at the Palm Room as Governor Andy Beshear urged voters to vote early starting on Thursday.
We need your help because the election isn't November 7th. It starts tomorrow.
Beshear says the city's West End is an important population that will see hundreds of jobs and a new Norton Healthcare Hospital in the next few years. The West End is historically known to back Democrats and Beshear in past elections.
This area deserves more investment, deserves more jobs, and we're working day in and day out to make it happen. And the people of West Louisville deserve a governor that shows up in West Louisville.
Republican challenger Daniel Cameron and Governor Andy Beshear are both crossing the state on campaign buses. In Shepherdsville, Daniel Cameron sharing his vision and values with supporters.
But ladies and gentlemen, I assure you that when I am governor, we will back the blue not only in word, but also in deed.
Dr. Dewey Clayton says both candidates can't take anything for granted, and it's about voter turnout. Clayton says the smaller cities can really make or break voting results, and it's about getting out to vote.
But he also knows that Cameron is probably planning on countering that with his ground game in many of the smaller cities. And so Beshear realizes that he can't leave that to chance.
Cameron shared with supporters that they are the deciders on how this election goes and their vote is important.
Bullitt County is going to be so instrumental in making sure that we have the Commonwealth that we want.
Overall, Clayton is pleased both candidates are pushing for voter turnout during this gubernatorial election.
I think it's good for democracy that both camps are really sort of trying to increase turnout. And so, I actually applaud both of them for trying to increase the turnout.
The end is now just days away. In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS 11 Night Team on your side.
So tomorrow is a big day for Kentucky, and here in Louisville there are 10 locations, one in each region of Jefferson County, where you can vote early, no excuses needed. Take a look at your screen. We've got the addresses under the name of the venues: the Arterburn, the Jeffersonian, the Kentucky Center for African American Heritage, and the Linden Elks Lodge. Also, you can go to the Sun Valley Community Center starting tomorrow, Mary Queen of Peace Gym, the Triple Crown Pavilion, and the Kentucky Exposition Center, the Fairgrounds. Plus, you can place your secure mail-in absentee ballots in boxes at Paris Town Hall and the Historic Administration Building at Bowman Field. So here's how it works. You can vote starting tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The same hours apply tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Yes, you can vote on Saturday in person. Louisville Metro Council members have formally created a charging committee that could potentially remove Councilmember Anthony Piagentini, the Republican, from his seat. It's in response to the Ethics Commission finding that Piagentini guilty of ethics violations. They'll review the evidence and determine whether formal removal charges should be filed. All 5 members of the charging committee are from the Democratic Party, something Council member Cindy Fowler says was not by choice.
We invited the minority caucus to join us in what historically has been a bipartisan effort when allegations of misconduct were brought against a sitting member of the council.
To not want to be a part of this process is saddening. It is an obligation. I have no pleasure in standing before you, having to be a part of a charging committee on one of our colleagues, but it's a responsibility.
That's Democrat Paula McCraney. She's part of the committee, joining Cindy Fowler, Andrew Owen, Pat Mulvihill, and Betsy Rue. Piagentini is already calling this a partisan attack, saying Fowler has led several efforts to attack Republicans on the council. Piagentini, by the way, releasing a statement saying, "I will continue to fight and I'll continue to act with total transparency as I use all legal means available to address and correct the politically motivated findings of a Fisher-appointed board." To see his full statement, we have it posted at WHAS11.com. Attorneys are working to build the federal jury that will hear the civil rights violations case against the former Metro Police Detective Brett Hankerson. He's accused of violating the civil rights of Breonna Taylor, her boyfriend Kenny Walker, and her 3 neighbors when he blindly fired shots into Taylor's apartment. Judge Rebecca Grady Jennings decided to hold jury selection in private, mainly to give each person the confidence to answer truthfully. She and attorneys have questioned more than 80 potential jurors as they work to narrow the pool to the 16 needed to start the trial. Our coverage from the courtroom continues tomorrow.